Astro. If you want freedom from our serverless overlords and a great developer experience, check out Hostinger with the link below. They just started their Black Friday sale, and you can use the code FIRESHIP for an even bigger discount. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see
Hey, any questions about the video? And Nicholas sent a link. Oh, I see. I turn a robot into a master chef. Okay, uh, let's step into our project. 1 second, let me share my screen. Okay, does everyone remember what we did last week? Yes, it is. James, I'll give you the link for, let's see. Okay, James, this is the link for what we completed last week. And here's the link for the whole Python script before we made the changes. So I would just download the base one and then just replace the top half with the one we already did. Does that make sense? Okay. And I think I should probably go over what we did last week, just a quick rundown, and then we can step into the code. You'll figure it out? Okay. James, at the bare minimum, you should just copy the base one since we'll be working with that. Okay. So last week we were doing the project on tic-tac-toe. So basically we're trying to make an AI that we can play against and an AI that will we can never beat and will always beat us. Okay, first we initialize the board. We had a 3 by 3 of nuns. Then we made a function to make move. Basically, it returns true if the cell was empty and the move was applied. False if the cell is already containing a mark, which means a player X or 0 or O is already there, so we can't make a move. Next, we have check winner. Basically checks the board if someone won. And someone wins if there's each of the rows, or like one full row is all X or one full row is all zeros. So we check each row, we check each column, and we check the 2 diagonals. Yep. And then we check that all cells are equal in that row or column or diagonal. If a winning line was found, then we return the symbol that won, which is that first cell. Otherwise, we return none, since no one won. Next, we made this draw. Basically uses this check winner function that we made. First, it verifies that all cells are not none. So there's still a move that we can make. And then it calls check winner board and returns none. And next, get available moves. Basically, it returns a list of every empty square in the board. So any move that we can make. And it returns it in a tuple of row and column. So first, it goes each row and each column, so it checks every single move that we can make. And if it is none, then we append it. If not, then we just skip over it, and then we return that list. Next, pretty print. This was just for our CLI, which is command line interface. So we just wanted the interface that the user can look at. So next, we'll make this today, the AI move and the play game. Basically, AI moves, we choose the next move for the AI. It basically takes in the board, the AI player, and then the human player. So this is basically the X and O. And we kind of do our AI thing here. It thinks about it, kind of searches through for the right move, and then returns that right move back to the player or the game loop. And yeah, any questions about this? If no one has questions, we'll head straight into the code. So last week we did everything up to the AI move function. So we'll start from there. Okay. Actually, I can share my screen again. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? We're just gonna basically do a quick AI move that will work. And can you guys see my screen? Yes. Okay. Okay. So first, we'll just basically make a quick AI move. So this will just be making a random move. So first, we call get available moves, which, as we saw before, oh, let's go to the final. Oh, James, you might have to do the same as me. Just copy over the thing, over to final, and now we have it. Okay. Oh, wrong function. Yeah, I move. Okay. So, does anyone have? Okay. Just have the file ready because we're gonna share screens later on to implement the function. Does that sound good? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I move. Basically, what we'll do here right now, I just wanted to show you some non-AI thing you can do. Does anyone have any ideas for a simple thing we can implement for for letting the AI choose a move? It can be the simplest thing ever. And just so you guys can see, we'll just do available moves and set it to this function right here, which is get available moves. And then we pass in this board. Oh, this board. Okay. Does anyone have any ideas for something we can make it so that it chooses between the available moves? And if you don't have an idea, please let me know as well. Random? Yes, you can choose random. So let's do a move. We'll do random choice equals random. Oh, am I not importing it? Okay. Random. And then we can choose one of the available moves and return. And that's all we really need. Although this is probably does not count as an AI. Now, we'll just leave it like that for now, and then we'll head on to the play game. We'll see how the random one works, and then we'll head on to actually making the AI logic. Now, let's start coding. We'll start implementing the play game. Now, let's do, since we started alphabetically last time, we'll go the reverse way. And that's Nicholas. Nicholas, can you share your screen with the play game function? Oh, let me allow you to. Oh, you started last time. Okay. Then let's go Adam first then. Can Adam share your screen?
Okay.
Thank you. And you just need to show the play game function. Thank you.
Over here.
Okay, play game. Okay, let me just explain the function for everyone. So first, this is basically the whole game logic, the main loop. So the flow is first we want to show the board, and then we want to number two. If it is a human turn, then we want to read the number 1 to 9. So this is basically cell 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 9. So it's the board cell. And then we convert it into row column. We check it if it is a valid move. So if it's like 10, it's not a valid move. And then we basically, with that row and column, we call the make move function. Third, if it's an AI call, so the user makes a call, and then next is the AI call. Basically, we just call the AI move and get a row and column that the AI moves. And then we make the make move function using that row and column that the AI move returned. And then fourth, after each move, you want to check if there's a winner or a draw. Number five, if the game ends, we want to print the final board and the message. So like final, the winner is, or it is a draw. Six, we want to otherwise switch the current player and repeat. Any questions? Nobody has questions? Okay. Okay. Nicholas, did you okay. James, do you have any is there any part that you don't understand of? Maybe I can just go over the front bit a bit. Okay. Maybe I'll just no, it's fine. Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. Okay. Adam, did you already implement the play game function or
Mm, I don't know.
okay. Then let's delete that and then let's do it in like together.
Delete
I
which
think
part?
the whole function after the doc header. So everything after 459, line 459.
Everything.
So in that function though. So go down. Yep, yep. Oh, I see. Okay.
All of that.
except for 535. And it seems like your
Except one.
what do you could you repeat? Okay, can you go a bit up? Yeah, you can stop. So delete everything up to 503, 503. So from 459 to 503. So one more line. Okay, delete it and then delete that 460, that whole line. Oh, yes, delete it. Now we're good. Okay. And delete, and delete the three quotation marks at the, yes. Now it's good. Now you can go down and then let's delete that pass. And then now we can start coding. The reason you had all the errors was because you were writing inside the doc header. So now let's implement it. So if you go up to, or you can read the doc string, but number one, it says we want to show the board. But before we do that, we want to kind of create the game loop. So this will be setting up all our variables. So what variables do you think we'll need in this main game loop function? Do you have any ideas? If not, we can just, do you have an idea?
Column and row.
Column and row? That could work, but since the column and row usually we get from the available moves, we won't need that at the outer scope. How about like the board?
The
What did you say?
um, if it's the AI or the player.
Yeah, that's good. So instead of you probably need the space there actually. So click your space bar. Yep, and then let's do human underscore player. Uh, And then let's set it to, okay, I guess X is good. Yep, good job for not tabbing. And then let's do AI player underscore player equals, and then O. Is there anything else that you think we should need?
I don't know.
What do you say?
I don't know.
Okay. Then let's implement the board. So let's do board equals, and that AI is wrong. The function should be initialize board that we made at the top. Underscore board. And then the function, yep, enter. Now we also want to set who the current player is. So let's do current player. And then do you want the human player to start or the AI to start?
I guess I'll just get the human player.
Okay. Then let's set it to human player. And that's all we need for the main loop function, I mean the variables. So now let's set the actual loop. So we can do a while loop function just like that. Yep. While true. And then now we can start the inner loop, which is if you read number one, it says show the board. So we already have a function that prints the board, right? So let's do it. Yep, pretty print. And then we input the board, enter. Next, what is it, number two? We want to check if it's the human's turn. And if it is, then we want to read the number from 1 to 9, and then like validate it, convert it to row and column, and then call make move. So let's check if it's a human.
Wait, do I
Yep.
need a tab?
No, because if you look at the top right before it, all we did was pretty print, and that's just calling a function. We only need a tab if it's inside the if statement, while statement, etc. So, yep, we want to check if it's a human player. If it is, then let's do while true. So we'll have an inner while true statement. Now, here is something that not most of you know, so I'll try it. I'll actually share my screen for this one. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay. Now, where were we? Okay, let me just quickly delete this. Okay. Whatever, we have the variables here. I won't write them down. Now we have the while true. We want to pretty print the board. Oh, it's empty right now because I did not set the variables up here, but here, current is the human player. This is what you had, right? This is where you were up to. Okay. Now from here, what we want to do, the reason why we have this while true is because we want to keep asking the user to input a number between 1 and 9 until we it's a valid number. So if it is like 10, we want to keep asking them until they get a number between 1 and 9. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now here I'll introduce some statements that you guys might not know. Do you guys know what a try statement is? A try and except. You guys know what this is? James knows. Please let me know if you guys don't know, because I would explain it. Or James can explain it too, yes. Yeah, so basically, if there's an error in try, so let's say a common error is 10 divided by 0. Does anyone know what's wrong with this? So basically, 10 divided by 0, you can't divide by 0. So basically, when this happens, your Python script actually exits out and you can't do anything about it. The thing about try and except, if there is a problem here and it tries to exit, you actually catch it here. You catch the exception and then kind of provide the solution, like pass. So let's say right now we want to check if, oh yeah, I should probably explain that. So what we want to do is create this input. We want to ask the user your move or please make a move. and then we provide it, okay, it's between 1 and 9. Now we want to parse it as an integer. Do you guys know what this int is? Have you guys seen it before? The int function? Okay, good. So basically what it does, it basically, let's say we have string number, and let's say we have basically a one string. This is not a number, it's a string. But if we wanted to make it into a number, we can just put it into this int function, and it basically returns a 1 as an integer. So it takes in a string or anything and tries to parse it as an integer. The same can be done with float, etc. But we want numbers 1 to 9, so we want to parse it as an int. Does anyone know where the problem might be here? Yes, James. Typecasting is exactly what it is. That's good. Does anyone know what the problem might be here as we try to typecast this input? Yeah, actually, that could be a problem. Let's just set it to this. What else can be a problem? What can throw an exception or like an error that might exit the program? Yes, exactly. So what if this input that the user puts, they write skibbity and tries to parse it as an int? That wouldn't work, right? So that's when the error shows and it throws an exception. And we want to catch it here using this except, and we basically call a value error. This basically means, as it says right here, as I said, that's the doc header, it's an inappropriate argument value. So basically saying that we cannot input a string that cannot be parsed into this int function. And that is not a good argument value. Does that make sense? Okay. But yeah, basically when you accept and then you just want to print, enter a valid number between 1 through 9. And then we want to, does anyone know the command that we want to put here so that the user can re-input during a while statement? Does anyone know? You don't know? Okay. So do you guys know the break, continue, pass statements? Yeah. Which one do you think we should do? Continue. Yes. So basically, we'll do continue here. What does it do? Basically, when this exception, yes, it continues the while loop. It doesn't break. Break basically stops the while loop. Pass, the difference between pass and continue, does anyone know? Does anyone know? That's just, yeah, that is true, but another way of kind of doing it, let's say we have a statement that calls values equals 1 here. What continue will do is it will skip over that whatever is after it and redo or go to the next loop of the while true. Yeah. And if you do pass, actually, not only does it go here, it actually goes over to values equals one. So it still calls values equals one. Does that make sense? Okay. Now back to, actually, Adam already did enough. Next, let's do Albert. Albert, can you share your screen? And we'll keep on implementing the play game. Yep, let's go down to play game. And then, okay, let's go up. Oh, not too far. Go down to where um Adam stopped at. So where did Albert stop at? It was the try continue. So the while true, although you implemented it a different way. Did you implement the function yourself? Oh, okay. We can do that. Does Adam, do you want to just copy and paste your code that you had for him?
What?
You want to copy the code you had and then paste it in the
In the
meeting chat?
what? Okay.
The play game function. Oh yeah, that's the file. That's the file. Go to CLI base, the tic-tac-toe CLI base. Yep. Oh, go to the top one because that's the tic-tac-toe GUI. You need to go to the file on top of that file, the base one, the base with the circle bracket one. Okay, I see what you mean. Okay, yeah. Play game, and then add them whenever you can. Okay. If not, I'll just send you mine.
I put it.
Well, you put it. Thank you. And Albert, if you can just copy and paste that into the play game function. You can do the three dots. Three dots and then the copy. Do you see it under if you hover on the chat that Adam made? It's to the right. Oh, no dots. Weird. Okay, let's just do it then. Let's do the play game. Go down, go down all the way to the bottom. Let's delete everything after the pretty print. Oh, except the if name. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Okay, now we want to do. Actually, let's tab that, and then let's delete everything after 315. I mean 316. Yes, delete. Okay, that's good. Uh, Tabbing will do that AI completion, so let's just space. To the same line as move. Yeah, so just enter on new line on the after the move. We're just trying to implement the function, but enter. Oh, your computer, right? Yeah, it's the Copilot completion. Let's see if we can turn it off. How to? Okay, let's just complete the function. So right now we have the move. We get the input from the user, which is 1 to 9. And we basically want to check if it is valid. So let's check if the move is in between 1 and 9. Can you do that? If Albert, when you see that all the way at the top, do you see that chat box looking thing and the bottom arrow? Yes. Let's do configure inline suggestion. And then let's do disable completions. Yes, now it should be good. Okay. Now let's try and check if the move is okay, it's at least smaller than before. Okay. And then we want to check if the move is in between 1 and 9. So yes, if move, and then what does it need to be bigger than to exit out? Because what you're trying to do is, okay, you can do that way as well. So it has to be smaller than 9, or it should actually be smaller than 10, right? Because what if it is equal to 9? Are you doing that insert? You see how your bar is like rectangular? Is that on purpose? Or was it just set like that? Do you want to change it back? Oh, okay, it always look like that. If you want, you can, on your numlock place, there'll be an insert button next to the delete button. Do you want to try tapping that? Yeah, that basically changes how it works. So the way you had it, it actually deletes the next character. Yeah. So now let's check if the move is greater than. What should it be greater than? That should be on the right. So the move should be greater than. If you do 1, what if the move is 1? Do you think you'll exit out? Yeah, that's good. Move it has to be greater than 0. And then we actually want the colon. Uh, dot dot. Yep, good job. Enter. Now, if it is in between, yeah, but basically the Copilot actually gave you the answer, but row is move divided by 3, and column is move divided or quotient 3. Do you guys know what the quotient is? Or remainder sign? Does anyone know? It's actually called the modular, and it basically returns the remainder of when you divide. So let's do like 9 modular 4. Then you try to divide 9 by 4, which is 2, and the remainder is 1. So basically returns 1. Now move slash slash. Does anyone know what slash slash is? This, does anyone know? The slash slash. I sent it in the chat. Yeah, that is right, but in Python, if you do like 10 slash slash 3, what does it do? Do you guys have an idea of what it does? Yes, yes, that is exactly correct. It's called integer divide. So basically, you divide it, and then you kind of put like an integer function so that you get the integer, not the decimal point 111 or something. So 10 integer divided by 3 would be 3. Does that make sense? Okay, next. do we want to do? Do you have any ideas, Albert? Yeah, we want to make a move. Hmm, let's see. Let's actually, we want to call make move. And what do you think if you hover on that make move function, and let's read the doc header, what does it return? X or zero, right? So it returns true. So if it is true, then we want to break. And actually, we forgot to put the exception when you did the try. That's why there's an error there. So after the move equals int of input of your move from 1 to 9, do you see that line? Line number 315? Yeah. After that line, let's put enter. Backspace, except EX, yep, oh, PT, value error, yep, exactly there. And basically this picks up the error. If there is an error, we print invalid input. And actually, you forgot something, right? What do we do after we print? Remember what we learned about break, continue, and pass? Which one of those do you think we should put? We should put continue. So let's put enter, continue. Do you know why? No, break stops it, but continue basically just goes over to the next loop. So it keeps looping and skips everything else on the bottom of it. So yeah, if make move and it returns true, then we want to break, or else that cell is already taken, we want to try again. And what do you think we put after that? Actually, we might not need that there. Yep, good job. Next, number 3. If it's the AI turn, we want to call AI move. So one thing here, we don't want to put it there since at the top when we do the while true, where do we actually check if who the current player is? Number 311, right? Line number 311. That's where we check it. So we want the else statement to align with that. So we want to do if it is a human player or else if it is an AI player. So let's, yeah, like that. So we want to delete everything else that you put. Yep. And then we want to build it there. So now this is the case where it's the AI move. Yeah, basically we do the AI move. If you hover on the AI move, yep. So basically it gets the board, AI player, human player, and it tries to choose a move, which we implemented was random move. And then we call make move. which is moving the row and column, the AI player into the row and column of the board. Now let's actually print after that. We want to print that the AI player played on this position. Can you print that? The AI player, yep, played on. And then let's do the row and column. Yeah, good job. Although you might not need the last string. No, this is correct. This is also valid in Python. Although you forgot a parentheses, one of the closing parentheses. Yeah. And you might want to delete that. Yep. Okay, good job. Now you can stop sharing. We'll move on to the next person. Who is next? Adam, Albert, Caden. Caden, can you share your screen? Yep, good job. Now, after that else statement, so let's click enter. What do we want to do? Number four, after each move, since we already did the each move, which is check the human player, check the AI player. After each move, what do we want to do? We want to check if there's a winner or a draw. And we already have functions for that, right? So let's do that. Yep, check winner. Oh, you can also just hover, right? Huh. Oh, you have to do a tab. The code will never reach that check winner statement. Oh, yep. Check winner. Now we can have hover. So it returns X or 0 or none. And what does it need? The argument types are actually shown at the way top when you hover. Way top. You see that define check winner? Yeah, the board. We need the board there, and it returns a string or a none. Board. And then let's actually make a variable equal to that, right? Because we want to check which winner won. Yep. Hey. Now, what do we do after we check winner? We want to check draw. Actually, a better way is X, yep, enter. Let's check if the winner won first, and then after that, let's check if there's a draw. So let's do if final check, which is the winner. If there is a winner, what do we want to do? Let's do the column instead of the equals. The dot dot. Uh, yeah. Enter. So do you know why it's like that though? Maybe. Okay. I'll just let you know. So final check. What gets returned? String 0, string X, or none. So if final check means if there is a final check. So that's basically when it's an X or a zero. If it is a none, then it doesn't get uh into there. So inside that if statement is when there is a winner. So let's do like print and then print a win statement for a win. Yeah, so the determining part is inside that check winner function. If you want to command and then click on that check winner function, the check winner function, uh, while holding control. Yep. So this is basically what you had for checking who the winner was, right? So what does it do? It has three steps to it. Add all possible ways to win inside a list. Second, we want to check through that list and check if we won. Third, we want to return who won or if they won. So here you add each row, each column, and then the two diagonals. And then line 117, you check each like line in the list and check if the first element is a X or a zero. And then you check if each other two on that line is the same as the first. Does that make sense? That's good. Now let's go down. Where were we? Final check, if final check. So that's if there is a winner. So line 335, that's when there is a winner. Now we want to, first let's print the board. A better way would be, because we have a pretty print function, right? So we can call the pretty print. Yep, good job. Now we want to print who the winner is. Print, check winner. Although you already have that check winner function, right? You don't need to call it once. I mean, twice. Where do we already call check winner? Yes, final check. Yeah, and before that one, you want a space. Yes, good job. Now we want to do, or else we want to check if it's a draw. Or actually, before that, we want to return it if there is a winner. Or actually, let's just break it. Else, this is when there is no winner. We want to print. No, one thing here, we want to check if it is a draw, since it might not be a draw yet. So let's do else if is draw, since we have a function to check if it's a draw. So is draw. Yep, yep. It's a function. It takes in a board. Tab. If it is a draw, then what do you want to do? We want to print the board and print that as a draw. Good job. Now we want to break again. It's a draw. Break, enter, enter, backspace. Now we want to change the player at the end. Remember, number 6 is change the player. So let's set. How do you think you want to do this? We want to set or change the player. Current player equals AI player. One thing though, what if the current player is AI player though? Then you keep on making it AI player. Yes. One thing, conditional, you cannot do equals, 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 yes. Now we need a colon. Yep. We want to tab it. Good job. Yeah, that's basically it for the play game function. So subtract. Oh, no, that should be in the, yeah, that should be there. Actually, though, I think you can probably just run your code. Save it. You can just do control save. Uh, yeah, control save on Windows. Yep, that's good. Go into your terminal. Oh yeah, delete that. Yeah. Control save again. Control S. Go into your terminal. Quit. Bracket, bracket. Like a function sign. So quit. QUIT. And then bracket, bracket. The circle brackets. No, you see that command line, what it says? Use quit. Yes, enter. Oh, what just happened? Control C. Control C again. Okay, let's just do delete. It looks like you're Control V and I don't think, yeah, good job. Clear, CLEAR, enter. Now we want to call this tic-tac-toe function, script. So let's do that arrow button at the top right. The, the top right, or run. Yeah, that works. Yeah, you can start. Run without debugging. Or, yeah. Do you know your Python file? Or? Although I'm not sure if you have. Yeah, it does not seem that your thing works. So let me share my. How come there's errors? Go to the top. But now red line, but no red line. So this is called a runtime error. So basically, there's some errors that you can't catch before you run it, or else there would be no like AWS shutdown, right? if we can catch it beforehand. I'll show you my screen. So basically, this is what your code should look like since we basically did the exact same thing. We'll call it, let me move my screen a bit. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my terminal? Okay. Basically, this is the same thing as your screen. I mean, your code. Basically, this is what it should look like. It'll have the UI, enter your move 1 through 9. Let's click 1. We chose 1. The AI, or it's actually random right now, but AI chose 5. Does anyone know what do you guys want to pick? Anyone want to throw out a number? Or let's just do it until we keep doing it. But basically, this is how it should do. This will be random moves for now. We actually have run out of time. But next week, since next week is November 11, which is Remembrance Day, we will start with Minimax. We'll try and implement Minimax, which is basically we won't be able to win against, and then we'll always draw, or we will lose. And then we'll do Alpha Beta, and then we'll also do Expectimax. Does that make sense? And does anyone have any questions? If not, we'll move on to the booklet.